everyone, and welcome to the Contingency Plan Podcast, a podcast where I do everything alone because nobody likes to come and podcast with me.
Wait, I made it out.
Hey, what are you doing?
I made it out.
Who are you?
I broke down the door with my force powers.
The Darth is back. It's an all Darth Austin podcast.
He locked me in the basement, guys. I don't even know how he doesn't have a basement.
In my crawl space.
He doesn't have a basement. I don't know how he did it.
I've got a crawl space. Just down in the crawl space. There's lights down there. You could turn the lights on.
I couldn't read anything. How many books have you gone through?
All of them, man.
Crap.
It's been 5 years.
That wouldn't be all of them.
That's true. Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. The Darth is indeed back.
Hello, everyone.
After working literally, 300 hours over the past 2 weeks.
Correct.
He finally had enough time to skip out on everyone and everyone he loves and everyone he cares about to come and record.
My coworkers.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. So how have the last 2 weeks been for you?
Sorry, I'm about to fall asleep. No, it's been a long couple of weeks. Big old 4th of July hit, and, everyone remembered they had a boat, and I had to fix it all at once.
Well, that's one of the things. So the area that we grew up around has a lake. Mm-hmm. It's not a really
it's not a big lake. It's very nice for the size, but
the area is unique because there's sort of the affluent community and then there's the working class community as well. And around like Memorial Day and then 4th of July weekend become the biggest boating holidays out there. So everybody and their brother is launching a boat.
Yeah.
Now
they haven't ran in 4 months. Why don't it run right?
So they get down to the marina and they're like, "Hey, I gotta get my boat out this weekend so I can drink and do stuff."
Hey, the fireworks are in 2 hours. Can you just go ahead and cut the shrink wrap off and just de-winterize that and make sure everything's good? Thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I know that obviously in the summertime, I mean that's when people want to go out and, being the master mechanic and everything. You gotta you gotta get going. Man.
I must use my body for this.
Yeah. Well,
I did get to kind of relax and unwind on Tuesday. I got to go out and see a movie for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah. So I know that I had texted you after I went out and saw the new Spider-Man, Far From Home. And
hit that matinee special, baby. $5.
$5, yeah.
It's hard to beat.
Well, the thing, movie prices have went down, like to go to movies have went down a lot over the past few years. And I'm still astonished whenever I go to the theater around here and I'm like, $5.
Three tickets and a popcorn pop for $25. That's pretty cheap.
Not bad at all.
It's probably cheaper than it was like 5 years ago, honestly.
See, I ate before I went to the movie because I was like, man, popcorn sounds good. And I was like, I can't eat popcorn.
The only problem with their popcorn, you might as well just get the small because this is what happens. They pour a ridiculous amount of butter. Somehow it doesn't seep through, so your top layer is salty, buttery, and then the rest is just like, is this real King popcorn?
Yep. It's true. It's true. But yeah, so well, what'd you think? What'd you think about it? Because I talked about it on the little half-hour episode I did. What did you think of it?
I'm gonna be honest, and no, I don't remember his name. Just remember that for me.
Tom Holland?
Yeah, Tom Holland. I didn't think he was the best fit for a Spider-Man on the first movie till I saw it. I did like him, and I kind of like the older Spider-Man vibe from the first gen from old, what's his name? Emo guy.
Well, apparently you didn't listen to the last episode when I said how much I hated him, and I
liked the first two. The third one was terrible.
I was not a fan of Tobey Maguire.
Okay.
I loved the villains that they cast. I thought that the casting for the supporting roles in those movies was great. Yeah. But you actually hit a nail on the head. It did have a much kind of like older vibe. Yeah. Like everybody, Peter Parker, he's 16, right? No, the guy's like 40. Yeah. But in this one, I mean, Holland is like 22, 23. Yeah. I mean,
even
most
though
of the
he
cast,
talks like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, most of the cast are in their 20s, which is typical for Hollywood. Yeah. But it does kind of feel more like, they could be in high school, I guess.
And honestly, this is probably my favorite Spider-Man movie, period. Hands down.
Yep.
Better than any other Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. I never thought I would say that because Spider-Man 2 was the bleep for me.
And well, Spider-Man 2 was we had Dr. Octavius in that one, right?
Yep.
Because the guy who played him, I really liked that character.
Yeah, and I can't think of his name either.
Yeah,
he
I
was
can't
a good
remember his
actor,
name.
very good actor.
But I really enjoyed that character. I mean, obviously the first one, Green Goblin. I'm whiffing on all these character names, but the guy who played the actor who played Green Goblin, I really liked him too.
Yeah,
he was also in Boondock Saints.
Yep, that's what I was
and
going to say.
a few other. I'm
Dafoe.
the name, William Dafoe. Thank you.
Willem. It's
Yeah,
Willem.
I'm not gonna say that. So, but yeah, no, I agree. I was sold on him when I saw him in Avengers because I did not watch the first one.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm not a Spider-Man fan. I never have been because he's always been portrayed as way too goofy, way too left-footed, and in a super cringy way. That I just remember that one, and I don't remember which one of the Tobey Spider-Mans, but do you remember when he was like walking down the street and there was that
Third one. The emo dance thing.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I didn't watch The Amazing Spider-Man or whatever it was.
It was just okay.
Yeah,
I never really liked Amazing Spider-Man growing up, though. I liked the MJ Spider-Man.
Gotcha.
So.
But I went in that theater expecting nothing, and I'm like you. I don't really watch a ton of movies in theaters anymore. Sometimes I'd like to, but I was like, you know what? It's Sunday. I'm going to go down and see this movie. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to get out and then just watch the movie. I'll tell you what, it was actually kind of uncomfortable in that theater. It was like really humid in the theater. It's like, can you kick on the freezing cold air, please? Please? And we're in leather recliners and everything.
Did you drive down to Columbus for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the same one we saw Solo in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a nice theater, but
it's nice, but it was
pretty cold when we went last time. So.
When it's humid in there, it sucks. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, God, I love this. I love all I love the woman who plays MJ.
Yeah, I thought she did a really good job. I love his friend.
Yeah, she's kind of like weird, you know. She has that weird side. It's like, I like that. That's pretty funny. And then the people who play the teachers, and they were good.
Well, the other one was at one point a pretty decent comedian. I can't think of his name.
Was it JB Smooth?
Yeah.
Was that his name?
Something like that.
I'm trying to think, but yeah, I vaguely I was like, I think I know him from, and they flashed his name at the end. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I don't want to do spoilers or anything like that. I mean, it's still fairly fresh, but
without spoilers, what'd you think of the end credits? Did you stay for them?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Okay.
Yes. So the first one, I saw it coming.
Were there two?
Yes.
I saw one.
You didn't see the last one?
No.
Oh,
I need to go YouTube that after this.
Oh, no. Oh, because the last one I cared nothing about it.
Oh, wait. Well, there was a scene after the credits started rolling, and then there was two. Okay, I saw two.
Okay.
The second one was the big one. The first one, it was like, this is kind of cute and annoying.
No, but, that...
I forgot about the first one.
The first one, it made sense. Like, I get it. And first of all, did anyone trust Jake Gyllenhaal? No. At any point in that movie?
No. He was way too buddy. So plus, he was in the games. Mysterio or whatever. You knew he was a villain.
Yeah. So anyway, we had that one, and it's like, oh, that definitely sets up an interesting third movie.
Yeah.
But the very last scene, I don't care about because I don't really like that part of the comics of the Marvel Universe.
Okay.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
The setup for the next movie is the last one I saw.
Okay, so you did not see the final one.
Well, what about the web swimming?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You had that leading into...
Okay, that was before the credits then.
No. Well, he started that, but then there was a point where they stopped the swinging. And then they had the little scene, and then there was a completely different curveball at the very end.
Okay, no, I didn't see the second then.
Okay, we'll talk about that offline here. Okay. So, but yeah, good movie. Yeah. Really enjoyed that.
Good humor, not cringy. I mean, some of it was a little cringy, but it was actually pretty decent.
I mean, there's teenage cringe, but it wasn't that bad. Yeah. Like it was bearable.
Yeah. And like you said, whoever her name is that played MJ.
Yeah, she's
great
really
acting.
cool.
Great
yeah,
acting.
she seems like she should be really cool.
I think she's there's a TV show about to air on Netflix that has her as the lead role. Might have to check it out now after watching her in that.
Yeah, I looked her up, but I didn't really see much of what her work was. So,
Well, she was in the first one, but
right,
I don't
yeah.
think they ever really name. If they did, I don't remember actually them saying her name. So
never watched the first one.
Yeah, I know.
My Marvel movie is very spotty. Now I know the basic gist of stories of pretty much all the heroes,
Right.
but I
still
haven't
haven't
watched
seen the
all
last Avengers. So
Yeah, you should watch the last
need
one.
to.
It was good.
I need to start over and watch them all. But one thing that
Yeah, you could.
I mean, obviously, this one isn't spoilers at this point. All the, references to Tony Stark, that kind of sucked in a way.
Yeah, I get it, but
I knew it was going to happen, but he was always one of my favorites. So,
For sure. Yeah, for
all
sure.
the reminders kind of sucked, but
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on into the HoloNet because I actually have a lot of stuff. We're actually going to do rapid fire with the Darth here because a lot of this stuff are things that I already talked about on some of our Power Half Hours.
is it trivia? Do we
No.
get to do trivia?
No, not trivia. You're just
Trivia?
going to give me your opinions on some of these things.
My answer is I don't like sand. It's rough.
It's rough and core. Yeah. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. I saw a meme. Oh, I think it. So it was like Obi-Wan holding Luke as a baby, as a full-grown Luke, as a little baby, and he's like, "Where should I hide him?" Sand.
Why didn't you send me that?
I don't know.
I could've
There are a
posted
couple
that.
things that I haven't sent you that I
That's
probably
good.
should. Okay, so first, Respawn, who are creating our Jedi Fallen Order game, got some complaints about the playthrough. Guess what it was?
The playthrough that we already talked about and
Yeah.
went over?
Yep. What do you think fans were complaining about in the playthrough?
I literally couldn't think of anything other than maybe they have a complaint about the droid.
Nope. Guess what it is?
Couldn't
You
even
can't.
guess. It was too
Hey,
amazing.
Hey, guess what it is?
Something stupid.
It is. The brightness of the lightsaber.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, what some of the fans were saying is they wanted to see more of the white core of the saber. So they actually are going in and re-rendering and making it brighter.
You know,
It's a thing. I'm telling you.
You know
I
what?
mean,
If they have time to do that, I'm very confident this game is
It's gonna-
refined and
listen.
in good condition.
this game is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We are going to literally beep ourselves. And I'm not going to tell you what that beep was, but we're going to be when this comes out in November, and it's around my birthday too, so it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Next thing, interview with Daisy Ridley happened.
Ooh.
Two things that happened. Three things. Three points. First one. So she said that she is not surprised about the backlash from The Last Jedi.
I heard about that.
What are
Yeah.
your opinions of that particular thing? You didn't really care about The Last Jedi, did you?
I cared about the continuity of it. I just didn't like some of the humor and everything in that movie. I didn't like the direction, but I think that, a lot of the actors were not very happy with the direction that
I could
Ryan
see
went
that.
on it.
We're going to
So
have
I'm
an
not surprised.
offline conversation about something because I actually just rewatched the movie right before this interview came out. It was really serendipitous. I have a few things I want to run by about it in my rewatch that I caught.
Like theories or?
Yes,
Okay.
theories. And then we'll do probably some episode 9 speculation here at some point. A big
Yeah.
episode on speculation because it's coming up. But yeah, we'll get back to that. Remind me about that after we're done recording. So not surprised about the backlash.
Yeah.
So the Darth's verdict is no duh.
Yeah.
Rey's parents will be revealed.
I don't care.
But what if Rey's parents are like Luke and Mara Jade or something?
What if her parents are Anakin and stuff? I don't care. Surprise!
Darth
Luke's
Vader
sister.
Darth Vader had another.
He came
another
back
kid.
as a Force ghost and had a kid.
They put her in cryostasis so she
That's
wouldn't
what they mean
age.
by born of the Force. Force ghost impregnation.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that that's something that I feel like that was something that JJ was always leading up to, and I think that it was just kind of fumbled a bit in The Last Jedi, or it was the misdirection. But I did a spiel in the last episode where I have an issue with trilogies when you don't do trilogies according to the formula. Mm-hmm. Now, I know not all trilogies can be the same, but there's a simple and basic formula that you have to follow in order to make people satisfied with your trilogy. First, you have your introduction to your heroes. You don't have to go in depth, but you have your primary conflict. Maybe you get over it because who knows if you're going to get the other two movies.
Yeah.
Classic example is A New Hope. You had the entire story. They blew up the first Death Star. Mm-hmm. They gave enough nuggets to say, well, there could be a second film. But they gave him the medals at the end, and it was happy-go-lucky and fun, and they didn't have to explain everything.
Yeah.
The second episode in a trilogy has to be where you give the flippin' answers. Yeah. That's where you give the answers to and the deep lore, because then you're setting up your third movie, which is supposed to be the main conflict between the actual main villain, which you figure out in the second episode of a trilogy.
Which usually entails you getting your butt handed to you by said villain.
And it can, yeah. So,
which kind of did happen with Last Jedi. I mean, it did.
Yeah, I mean, Han, obviously, he's in carbonite. Luke gets his hand cut off.
I'm talking this trilogy, but yeah.
Oh.
I said Last Jedi.
Oh.
Okay. Not Empire Strikes Back.
Well, I mean, they did kind of kill everybody in Last Jedi, so I guess they did that too.
I mean, exactly.
Anyway, okay, so Rey's parents to be revealed. Third point. And this is just more a general thing that I just picked out here. So the film is different from the other two. And her quote was, "Kids going on an adventure." Because we had kind of had all this stuff with maybe there's a little Poe and Finn adventure, and then there's a Rey Finn Poe adventure, and then Rose is in the closet somewhere. Just
she's in the crawl space. There's a couple lights there.
Take a powder, doll face. Just take a powder. We don't need you this time.
I just want Palpatine.
Well,
I've got
some theories about that we're gonna talk about after this. But anyway, I wish that's what would have happened in this past movie, where they kind of got their adventure out, and then in the last one, Rey could have just gone on her main quest to defeat the whatever. But anyway,
Snoke.
Well,
Snoke-a-teen.
I've got theories, and we'll talk about them.
Do you just want a fight between Snoke and Palpatine? Because I want that.
No, I'll explain later. Dang it.
Snoke-a-teen. That's what you're trying to explain, right?
Snoke-a-teen. It sounds like Ovaltine. Just put a little bit in your milk and you'll have a good time. Okay. And then we're not gonna go over this right now, but Age of Resistance comics.
Yeah.
So Finn came out. Was that last week or the week before? Anyway, it came out recently. I got it at the store. I totally forgot to get you one at the time. Phasma just came out this week, and I got you one of those. They didn't have any more Finns at my small little store that we have here. You read through Finn. You haven't read Phasma yet, but let's take a look at what else we're going to get. So we've got Finn, Phasma, a special, which conceivably looks like Maz and Holdo stories, Poe, Rose, Rey, Hux, Snoke, and Kylo.
So who are you excited for?
Well, Rey, for sure, depending on what they do with it. Hux, if they run it from his perspective.
With a lot of the lore from the books that you've mentioned.
Maybe. I want to see more conflict from him, but I don't want to get too deep into Phasma yet, but there's an element of when you tell stories from the first person as opposed to the vision of another person, because that's kind of the way Phasma was. I want Hux to be from his perspective.
Yeah.
Snoke, obviously, is probably the biggest one. Again, his perspective would be. I don't think it will be, but
the entire comic is just panel after panel of him sitting in the front.
It's just rot. It's like some weird emo comic. It's concept art, guys. Yeah. It's the rotting away of the First Order.
Yeah.
Snaps. And then, I'm interested to see what Kylo is too.
Pretty much I'm excited for everything, especially Maz. That's something that I wish they would have kind of fleshed out more.
Yeah. I think that could be really cool. Holdo's already kind of done in, I think it was Leia, Princess of Alderaan. I'm not. I think
about Holdo. I'm sorry.
I think she could have been cool, but like I just don't think her character was very good in the movie, or at least maybe not what we were expecting. So, but I'm reasonably happy with the selection, with the lineup.
Pretty much everything but Rose I am interested in.
The Rose one could be interesting. It just depends. I think I like the actress, but I think
her sister would have been more interesting. I hate to
maybe
say it.
They just sort of did a disservice to her, in my opinion.
They did. They did that for quite a few. I mean, you could say the same about Holdo. I mean,
the
writing was not great for them. They kind of got screwed over a bit.
So I don't know. I mean, it could be interesting. We're just going to have to see.
Yep.
So, okay, so that's all the old notes. I've got 2 new walk-on topics here. So first, the Rise of the Resistance Park. So obviously you had Galaxy's Edge. Have you watched anything on Galaxy's Edge?
I've been hearing that people haven't been going very much, but I haven't really watched any of the Millennium Falcon stuff or anything
There have been a couple of limited... some limited attendance, but I mean, they're still getting a lot of people there, but I think a lot of people are just kind of waiting because the entire park's not open yet either.
And that's expensive, so you want to get your money's
for sure.
worth.
But the lightsaber creation,
I've been watching a lot of videos on that.
That looks like that would be one of the funnest things in the world to do.
Be worth just driving to do that.
I would, well, if you want to drive to California, I mean, that's your business. I'd fly. But anyway.
Yeah, probably would be cheaper. Depends on what you drive.
True enough. But yeah, that one might be really cool. But anyway, the Rise of Resistance portion opening up, and I haven't read a ton on this, but I really want to go.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to go. I'm not an amusement park or theme park kind of guy, but this just seems like a really cool experience. And if Rise of the Resistance is any indicator, or if the existing park attractions are any indicator as to what could be added on or extra, sold. So let's talk about the biggest topic here. Sith Troopers.
Sith Troopers. What's this?
Have you not seen this?
I haven't seen this.
Oh my God, exclusive. Okay.
I've been in a crawl space.
Hey.
Literally under a rock.
There is Wi-Fi here. There's Wi-Fi.
Give me the password.
Oh, get out of here.
Signal.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up a picture real quick of a Sith Trooper.
Okay, that's what that is. I've seen the Red Troopers. I didn't know they were Sith Troopers.
Yeah. See, now listen, that's the thing. Let me put this in your head. What has almost every guard hit their color been?
Red.
So, using this logic...
There has to be a new... Is it for Palpatine? Is it for Snoke? Who's it for?
Is
it for Annie? Is Annie
He's
back?
dead. He's dead. He's dead. Listen, my thing is... There are 2 ways this is going to go down. They could be Kylo's troopers, but I think we're going to see the Knights of Ren.
Yeah. Fight against the Sith Troopers?
I don't know about that. I think they're on the same side. I don't believe in a redemption arc. I think he needs to be the villain. However, what if... We know there's some Palpatine in here. What if you see this scene? Sith troopers, like columns of them. And then in walks the last Palpatine Sentinel. And that's the Sentinel's guard, are these Sith troopers. Because listen, Sith troopers, they have been telling us that there were no Sith in Last Jedi. Do you want me to just give you the theory here that I had?
Yeah, go for it.
During my rewatch.
Wait, they said there were no Sith in Last Jedi.
In Last Jedi. Now listen.
Okay.
I rewatched that throne scene. And, Snoke tells Kylo to execute Rey. And he's got his eyes closed and he said, he turns his lightsaber. And the saber turns and strikes down his true enemy. Now, and then he kills Snoke. Kills. Quotation marks, because until the end of 9 rolls, I don't know if he's dead. But rule of 2. Now, and I've been rereading Darth Bane series too, so you have one who has the power and one to crave it, right? So what if, and I still think Snoke is an external, somebody from the unknown regions that, when Grand Admiral Sloane takes her crazy kids, genetic kids, and baby Hux and Hux's dad out there to effectively create the First Order, that Snoke was somebody there that Palpatine had already made contact with to help him with his contingency plan. This is all Palpatine's contingency plan. But, so we know there's something Palpatine here. What if the Sentinel is maybe a little bit more than a Sentinel? Maybe a little bit more sentient than a Sentinel. That would mean that you would have technically 3 powerful dark side Force users. So what if the intention always was for Kylo to strike down Snoke
so he could become the apprentice of Palpatine? He
could become the true Sith of this story.
Do you think that's the point of Rise of Skywalker?
Oh, could you imagine?
That's what it's always been about, a Skywalker and a Palpatine, and Palpatine. So.
I'm just saying that when I rewatch that scene with Snoke, for a person who, because listen, Rey gave Kylo a lot of trouble. He wasn't able to overpower her, but Snoke tossed around like a little baby.
Yeah.
This guy was the most powerful man in that room.
By far.
And he let Kylo Ren spin the saber and kill him.
But Palpatine does have an uncanny ability of hiding his intentions and his power. So what if he taught that to Kylo? Because Snoke did say he can tell everything that you're going to do. I know everything about you.
But see, that's the point, though. It was all the plan. Snoke was always supposed to die in this moment. And he knew that as well. Strike down your true enemy. The language there was very specific. Not just strike down your enemy. Strike down your true enemy. And he killed Snoke. I don't know. We'll talk about it a little further in another episode, but I wanted to drop that because I thought about it a ton. And, I know you haven't read Alphabet Squadron yet, and we haven't even gone over it, but I do want to say there is a Sentinel in Alphabet Squadron.
Oh, there is?
Yes.
Okay. I'm in.
And there was a Sentinel in Aftermath. So Sentinels are canon. They're out there.
Good. It needs to be.
We're not going to see a flesh and blood Palpatine. In my opinion, in Episode 9,
it wouldn't make sense.
I don't believe that we will see a flesh and blood Palpatine. Yeah. But a Sentinel led in by Sith troopers, as soon as they dropped Sith troopers, I was like, because I was actually taking a nap on the couch and I got ding, 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 ding on my phone. It's like a couple of friends were like, so what about these Sith troopers? It's like, well, what about those Sith troopers? I've been saying it the whole time. There's something contingency plan about this. There's something about this whole plot that, even if Palpatine wasn't revealed to have something to do with this next movie, at the very least, I always believed that Snoke was just an extension of Palpatine's contingency plan because of what we read in Aftermath. But that scene, it was weird. It stuck with me so hard and I hadn't watched Last Jedi in months.
Yeah.
And I was just like, the language here is way too specific. There's something more to what he's saying than what we are conceivably understanding here. And when you're talking about striking down your true enemy, and Kylo was able to literally kill this being like that,
Yeah.
When he is in control of this situation, quote, control, that to me screamed, because it sat really wrong with me in the theater.
Oh, I didn't like it either.
Happened.
I thought it was cheap.
Because I was like, but, again, like, I have a theory about Qui-Gon and Master and Apprentice. And in episode 1, I have a theory because of all of his vision in Master and Apprentice, and then, his studying prophecies. I still kind of believe he knew. He knew or had some flash that it was his time at that point, and that's why he did so much studying towards, essentially how to cheat death and become a ghost. The ghost, Casper, the friendly ghost. But it's not so far-fetched, in my opinion, it's not so far-fetched to think that this plan leading and culminating to the death of Snoke to elevate a Skywalker, the descendant of Darth Vader, to take his true side on the dark side to be opposed by Rey. Because it's really all about balance.
Yeah. And it would make more sense why Snoke was so obsessed with Vader and driving that home for Kylo as well, because who would be?
Yeah.
Be Palpatine.
But again, the Force is all about balance. There's always going to be dark and light. When you destroy all the darkness, it makes the light less bright. And when you take away the light, the darkness just consumes. So there's got to be that counterbalance there. So there's always going to be dark and light, man. It's the story of the universe.
So let me ask you this. Since we all know that Palpatine's main goal was to, basically take over Anakin's body.
Well,
there's a lot of theories about that. Do you think he still plans that with Kylo through his essence?
Well, see, and that's part of how sci-fi you think JJ is going to get. But when you think about it, when you hear that cackle,
could it be coming from Kylo?
Well, I'm just saying that that Sentinel, if there's a Sentinel, which I think that'd be cool. Maybe it's just more than just the Sentinel. Maybe it is the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Not just the last one, but the Sentinel.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
I just hope I get to see him in the movie. Just super old Palpatine now.
Nah, we're not gonna.
I know you won't.
That's gonna happen, but
it'd be great.
So let's go ahead and cut off here. We've been yakking about HoloNet for a bit. Let's talk now about our recap. Dark Tide 1 Onslaught. So we finished that book, 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah. Now that it's fresh in our heads.
Well, we're not going to... I don't want to spend hours and hours recapping because obviously you can go back and
we're not going to go into specific scenes all that much, obviously.
But I do want to get the spirit of the book out a little bit. So let's start with you. What would be your now that you've kind of digested it, it's been a little bit, what were your overall impressions of the book in general?
During the read, it was a little rough. Some of the writing was terrible. I'm not gonna lie, it was just straight up terrible.
It went in and out, yeah.
Some of it was amazing. Every space battle, period, was amazing. They all stuck out to me. Anything involving Anakin stuck out to me. He was very well fleshed out in this book, I feel. And I was worried going in that his entire character arc was going to be what happened with Chewie. That was my fear going into this book. Yeah. And it didn't end up that way. Did a great job with him. Did a great job with Jaina. Luke got to be the badass that we all know him as, not a milk drinker. The Luke that we grew up with, the reason we love Star Wars. Love emotional emotional moments. Set up for the next book. I'm very excited to go through it again.
Yeah. The space battles were well written, but yeah, some of the filler was a bit
cringy,
dry.
Yeah.
The children were done in a decent enough way to really sort of show who they are at this point. Luke coming in with the dual sabers to save Jason was really cool, showing his power. we're kind of really seeing a lot of how difficult it is for Mara.
Yeah.
Which is difficult. But we also get to see how good of a teacher she is. Because, effectively she was like Jaina's master.
Pretty much.
But in this book, we get to see her off with Anakin and, sort of being like, hey, listen, man, you don't need to use the Force every single day for everything.
Yeah.
You need to be able to do this stuff on your own and not rely on the Force totally. So that was good. We obviously, a little bit more of Lando, which is always fun.
Do you feel like there wasn't enough of Leia?
Leia maybe could have seen a little bit more of her. I would have loved to have seen more Han.
We basically saw no Han.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of Han.
I think there was one chapter with him in it.
It's a bit murky right now, but I know. I mean, he was in there, but not a ton. Definitely,
would like to see more Chewie.
Jeez. And now we turn the podcast off forever. Yeah, old Chewie. A lot about the Yuuzhan Vong, a lot more about the Yuuzhan Vong.
Yeah.
A little bit more about how they work.
A lot of lore.
Yeah, a little bit more
really
lore. We kind of learned that they've been around the galaxy a lot longer than we would have thought. They've been scoping things out for a while. We kind of learned that they're not indestructible totally. We've got some new battle tactics. Their use of, their coral slaves was kind of weird. But, there it is. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a bad book. You're right. I mean, unfortunately, there were chapters that it just felt like they took off, and it could have been condensed. What did you think of
the new characters that were introduced?
New characters? What are you talking about?
We got Gavin.
Yeah. I mean, he's something.
What about old Corrin? I mean, he's not new, but we got to actually
Corrin
see some
is
development.
A really cool Jedi. He might not be like the strongest Jedi, but he knows how to use his skills to get things
and his
done.
dual-phase lightsaber.
Well, the dual-phase lightsaber was really cool in some of the combat for that, but this is a guy who maybe he can't levitate stuff as well, but he can literally implant anything in your mind. He can make you feel pain. He can make you feel calm. He can sick ants on you. Oh, wait, that was his son, but he could probably do that too.
No, he just sicks,
slash rats.
Big old slash rats on you.
Yeah, he is a very cool character, and I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more out of him. But yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because I think, and again, this book really threw into the wide picture why we needed to rethink our format here. And, going forward, the format is going to change where we're going to split each book up into 4 parts as opposed to chapter by chapter. And we've said this before, but I think it's important to get the most out of each episode, to get them, really provide you with the most out of
quality content instead of just droning on and on about a chapter we really didn't like.
Yeah, because I mean the thing is, I felt like at some points we got kind of complainy or got a little loopy about things. Yeah. And it was just it's at some points it was a little bit of a drudge. And the thing is like I remember loving these books when I was a kid and reading them and going through and devouring the information, but going back and really doing chapter by chapter, because you could do like that for Tolkien or Martin or a couple other fantasy books and stuff, because they're a little bit more constantly lore heavy, constantly detail heavy. Whereas in these books, not all of them are created equal, and that's something that we'll learn as time goes by. But yeah, definitely the split up I think is going to create better episodes for us. and probably provide more highlights.
We're going to be more enthusiastic about it as well. I mean, we're going to look forward to it way more than be like, this week's chapter sucked. I'm not looking forward to this at all.
Because we're going to hit more of the highs and kind of, downplay a lot more of the lows. So,
because I think if you notice, if you went back and listened, the chapters we didn't like, we probably talked way more on Council and HoloNet. like 3/4 of the entire episode. So
you could tell, and again, overall the book was fine. I mean, it had it had a lot of great detail to it, and again,
it wasn't a masterpiece. So we're going to find a lot of things to talk negative about.
We're building layers of character, and we're seeing more of the galactic politics and how that can be manipulated on the drop of a dime. And how resistant they are to a large-scale threat. So,
oblivious.
Largely. So there's a lot more to that we're hoping to take advantage of, because Dark Tide 2 is coming up. And that's going to be the new format for the podcast going forward. So let's see here.
Are you excited for the new big baddie?
Yeah, the Yuuzhan Vong maybe were not my favorite villain, but it was cool for the time that the books were coming out in. It was very sci-fi.
When you were, let's face it, a Yuuzhan Vong warrior from ages like 8 to 15, that's gonna be so freaking cool.
Yeah, and they were kind of disgusting, and the warrior mentality and everything, and just killing and killing and killing for the fun
emo
of
it. Punk.
Well, yeah, some of it was just kind of crazy, but yeah, for the time period that I was reading it, it's a different thing. But part of the reason why I loved Alphabet Squadron so much was because it was dealing with people on the ground, not so much the big giant threat. So anyway, I'm looking forward, and what we're gonna have tons of baddies as we get through the series. So, anything else you really wanted to point out for our recap?
No, not a lot stands out that I want to talk about right now. I'm sure I'll regret that when I leave tonight, but we'll think about 20 minutes worth of stuff we could talk about, but.
Well, there's obviously, quite a bit in the book, but the issue is that do you need to rehash it?
Well, the only other thing I can think of is obviously the thing that gets us the most excited from chapter to chapter is anything discussing the philosophy of the Force and the Jedi and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What direction do you think they're leading as far as... we've had Jason's viewpoint, we've had Anakin's, we've had Luke's, we've had Mara's.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we have different writers, but what do you think their opinion of the Force is going to be? How a true Jedi should be. Do you think that's something that... It's leaning towards something we're going to disagree with our philosophy of what a true Jedi is.
I don't know about that.
Something we're going to agree with.
This series is so heavy about the threat. I don't want to get too deep down into what happens with each individual character,
right, of course we don't want to spoil it.
But obviously, Jason, I think is... Well, no, I don't.
We won't say it, but I think most people who are in this reread, they know what happens.
Yeah, I don't want to say it, because there could be some people that might join in that haven't, or this might be the first time reading it. But, Jason's path, led him in some interesting directions. And as we get further on, you'll start to realize why Jaina is my favorite character from the series. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get a lot more from Luke, and it won't be Yuuzhan Vong all the time, but they're always gonna be there. But in the beginning here, it's the big threat, and it's going to be the only thing that's present. But it won't always be the only thing that's present in the series. I'm kind of really rooting to get towards like the middle of the series, because there are a few really good books that I really enjoyed. Destiny's Way, Rebel Dream. I can't remember. There's like 4 or 5 of them that I could say are favorites.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's going to pick up. Let me put it to you that way. It's going to definitely pick up. 'Cause, I mean, Vector Prime was a pretty good standalone book.
It was. Even if that was the only book in the series, it would have been a good book.
Yeah. So I think we had some higher expectations. And granted, it's been years since I've read these.
Right.
Okay. So I'm not looking at them with total fresh eyes, but in a way, it kind of fresh eyes.
No, I mean, you're
It's
at a
been a
different
long
stage
time.
in life, so what you get out of this book is going to be way different.
And I'm getting older too.
Whatever. It is almost like reading a book for the first time again, though, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, it kind of is, because there's a lot of things that I don't remember. I don't remember a ton of stuff. It was funny in Vector Prime when the Chewie scene came up, and I was like, I think I texted you or something. I was like, something's coming up, and I kind of forgot about it until I read it, and I was like, oh crap, now this is that time. So.
See, I knew that from the lore that he
Right.
dies when he dies. I already knew that, and a few other pivotal moments
Right.
of the series, but for the most part, it's all fresh for me.
Well, the
so
thing
I'm
is like, I had these books when the books started coming out in 99, so I was 12, I think. Math. Yeah. How old am I now? How old am I now?
It was 80.
31. So no, I'll
you
be
would have
32 this year. Maybe.
You would have been 11 when they started coming out.
Yeah, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. And I remember having most of them, and then I because you were a little kid trying to copy me and stuff, and copier. You had to read them, and
I was more into Goosebumps at that point.
I had the Goosebumps books too, because when I was little kid, it was Animorphs and Goosebumps.
I forgot about Animorphs. That was fun too.
Bro.
Weird TV series, bro. That was weird.
Did they have a TV series?
Yeah, they had a
man?
TV series.
See, I don't remember that. I read the books. Tobias the Falcon guy was my favorite.
I remember,
one.
the weird, their mentor, master, whatever.
Yeah, he was like the weird centaur with the knife tail. And
I
the
remember
blue thing.
I remember the scene of him getting eaten by the villain. It's like, it was like shadows, casting shadows, and that's how you saw it happen.
Yep.
I was like, this is really weird for a kid-friendly show.
He loved cinnamon buns.
Now I want to rewatch that.
I don't have any of those books anymore. I kind of wish I would have kept them. I think I gave them to my nephews, honestly.
Who was the one that got stuck?
Tobias the Falcon.
Was he okay? The Falcon got stuck.
He got stuck because you could only stay an animal form for an
24
hour.
hours. I thought it was 24 hours.
Maybe, but he stayed in too long, so he was a Falcon for a while. Then they got him back. But.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Star Wars podcast
talking about animals.
Animorphs. Come on, let's read Animorphs.
Hey, you want to talk about Beetleborgs next?
Shut your mouth. I was on Hulu, and I think they put Beetleborgs on there.
I'd watch the crap.
I don't even know what the hell Beetleborgs were.
It was like a spin-off of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It's just a terrible copy of it.
Yep. It's good. It's good. So anyway, guys, I think we'll probably wrap it up a little bit here. Little bit short of an episode, but I mean, to be honest with you, we hashed this book out a lot.
Yeah.
But
I think our opinions are known.
Yeah, we'll start the new format here pretty soon, because our next episode, I believe we're going to try and do Master and Apprentice finally.
That's right. Are you on your 5th reread by now?
I'm
on my second-ish. I restarted it twice. So
I've ran through it 2 times now.
Yeah. I kind of had to reread or re-listen to Dooku again. I couldn't wait.
Yeah, I've listened to Dooku twice, listened to Master and Apprentice twice. I'm going to probably listen back through Alphabet Squadron again. But right now, I'm going through Thrawn because the next Thrawn book is coming out in like a week or 2.
Is that second or third in the series?
Third book. So I am currently going back through Thrawn Alliances, and as soon as it drops, man, that'll be what's on the list.
See, that's the problem. Do I start the Thrawn or do I do Alphabet? What do I use my credit for?
Oh,
I'm more interested in Thrawn as a character.
Well, listen, here's the thing. If you want to go to Audible, we're not sponsored, by the way.
But we should be.
So if you want to think about this strategically, So you could spend your first credit on the first Thrawn book.
I'm still going to be behind.
But hold on. So the second Thrawn book is only $12.50 right now. So you could conceivably get away with both of those for really cheap.
Yeah.
And then you just have to figure
Wait
out
on my credit for the next one.
Is
it going to come in time?
I think it drops the 23rd or the 26th, I believe. So
I just got my credit a week ago.
Yeah, so you'll hey man, just buy it. Get buy 3 more credits.
Yeah.
It's credits. But anyway,
we don't want that currency. Yeah.
I'm just saying, the whole thing is like you have to be strategic about your credits.
Yeah.
Because I'm going back through my Patrick O'Brien series, so I got one of those books, and then I got the first Thrawn. I bought the second Thrawn for $12.50. Or no, wait. I got the first Thrawn last month. Mm-hmm. I bought the second Thrawn, and then I pre-ordered the third Thrawn with my second credit. So, and hey, man,
I'm gonna have to upgrade to the 2 credit a month. I know I'm going.
It's never enough when you really
20
start.
or something like that.
It's like 22, 24 a month.
I think I'm paying 15 now. So
it's not a bad deal for 2 credits a month.
Well, yeah, because it makes a book essentially $11.
Very true, and you,
opposed to some of these books
30, 40,
yeah,
sometimes,
yeah. Look at like the Game of Thrones and all the Lord of the Rings and anything like that. Mm-hmm. The big books are going to be outrageous.
Yeah, well, yeah, the longer they are,
but then you get the cheaper ones like Revan. You can just buy that outright because it'd be literally. You'd be wasting money.
Yeah, and the cool thing is a lot of the narrators for the Star Wars books are really, really good.
Yeah.
They're really good.
I've been very happy with both that I've gotten so far. I'm sure that the lesser known books, they're not going to have.
Well, I know you liked old Ray Laveros. That was your favorite voice, wasn't it?
No, it was Mace Windu.
Hey, Mace, you want to go cowboy up and get some chili?
Is it sad that, like, when I hear Mace, now I keep thinking of that Billy Ray Cyrus song.
The only one?
Old Town Road. Or whatever.
Listen, I still have not listened to that entire thing in its entirety, and I'm good.
You shouldn't.
I'm sorry. The only hip hop music I can listen to nowadays, because like
it's Post Malone, isn't it?
No, I can't listen to him. I tried. Because I do try. I try and keep up on all the music because I love music. This is turning into maybe like a Patreon episode. But I love, which coincidentally, head on over to patreon.com if you'd like to support the podcast. We haven't done with the Patreon series. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really do. I need to upload a couple of them. I haven't edited some.
We haven't ate in like a month.
But yeah, if you want to support the podcast, it's a good place to do it. It's not necessary, but there's extra content over there. But yeah, I try and keep up with a lot of it. But the whole thing is the only ones I can listen to is like Childish Gambino.
Yeah, I like his music.
Oh, jeez.
Logic?
No.
You don't like Logic?
No, I'm good. I'm totally blanking on the other.
A rapper?
Dang it.
Are you talking about
J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar?
I didn't think you'd like Kendrick Lamar. Okay, I
can go with it. So anyway, enough about rap music that has nothing to do with Star Wars. We appreciate it, guys. We appreciate you sticking through. Obviously, it's nice to have Darth back.
Don't put me in the crossface again.
Well,
I'll be good.
If you get busy again, it's on your own head. But yeah, I mean, we all get busy, and I'll continue to try. It's pretty easy for me to just like set aside a night just to do one myself if I have to. But it's always nice to have somebody else here to talk with. It's
only talking to yourself in a mic.
Well, I talk to myself all the time. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. So anyway, thank you guys very much for stopping by for another episode. We look forward to talking to you again next week. When we will do our Master and Apprentice, maybe.
Qui-Gon.
There we go. So again, thank you very much for stopping by. You have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force. What do I say again? It's been too long.
I believe it's be with you.
Be on you. Later, guys.